If you live in Prague, there is about 10% chance that you own a dog. We're almost the dog capital of Europe. And today I'm going to explain what are the 5 parks where you can easily walk with your dog without a leash. This is Bartek. He's a member of our family and well, he's a bit scared from time to time. He's our typical shelter dog, and although we have a family house with a garden, we want to go sometimes for a walk or sometimes to socialize with other dogs. Today we're in Stromovka. You know, Stromovka is a big park, but only certain places are designated for dogs that you can let them loose. Such as this place. We are northwest of Stromovka. You can check the map. And the next place, we can continue on the northern section to walk around to, let's say, that part. Equally, on the south section, there is another part where you can walk freely with the dog on loose. Going with a dog without a leash is a bit of a gray zone. However, Prague thinks very well about the regulations. You cannot let your dog without a leash without not being in a designated places, such as this one. Very often we see people in various parks without a leash, but the question is it really allowed? You should be looking for a specific pictogram or a symbol, which is at the entries to the park, to see whether it's allowed or not. But always your dog must be responsive and come on a whistle, or to call him Barty. Good boy, good boy. Not always he behaves like this, but now he's in front of a camera, so he's not shy. No, yo, ano. No, kamarádi. Although this place is for dogs without a leash, sometimes you can see a cyclist. Since we want to pass to that direction, I want to put him on a leash because you never know with the cyclists or with the runners, so better be safe than sorry. But so what's the rule about having your dog on a leash when you can walk your dog without a leash? Well, it's fairly simple. If you see the symbol, you're free to let your dog go loose. I like Stromovka very much because, in my opinion, it's the nicest park in a whole Prague. It has a lot of varieties. There are water surfaces, there is amenities. You can get here very easily from whole Prague. In my opinion, this is probably the best park to go with your dog. This is the area where we were, then continuing here around the water, you can go to the north section all the way here. Now this is also dog designated area. Here you can go only with a leash, and then again it's free down here. I wanted to show you the map, how to get around here, but we're clearly in Žižkov. And if your dog likes beautiful views, then I suggest the Vítkov Hill, our second stop, where we're going to go this way to the entry from the Žižkov part, and I'll show you which parts are free for your dog to walk without a leash. Now the place to let your dog starts from there, but in this place there's beautiful scenery for the whole Prague. You can also take some refreshments down here. Good place for you, for your dog, and then we can continue down. But now in this part of the Žižkov Hill, I'm fairly certain you can let the dog go loose, but we didn't find any of the, signs. However, there are other dogs without the leash. I'll take the risk. Well, Bart decided that he's not running anymore. Anyway, the climb up here can be a little bit demanding, especially if you come from that part of the hill. However, I find this place very peaceful. There's not many cyclists. Not many people like to cycle all the way up here. Plus, you have a couple of cafes down there. Yeah, another park, which is good to come with your dog. Now, Barty really likes to play fetch, and you can see he's really hypnotized by the ball. Go! Doesn't work always. Barty, I don't have it anymore. Now, I'm sure you know that Žižkov Hill is named after the OG Czech warrior Jan Žižka, and he defended here, literally here, few hundred meters against the army of Crusaders against Sigismund back in 1420. We're not in a history lesson, but since we're here, I thought to give this update. I love these simple signs saying pivo. Well, I guess we can get a beer there. This is Residence Central Park, one of the iconic places or developments built in 2000s in the Czech Republic. But anyway, we're here because of our dog, because if he wants to go for a walk, maybe you're living close by here, the closest place to you is Parukářka. Right there, there is also a map which shows you where you can go with the dog without a leash. So let's check it out. Barty! Seems to be a bit tired, but we still have more parks to come. Come on! Yeah. Maybe it'll be just two of us, I have to leave Barty at home. What? Barty? The place designated for your dog to go loose is the northeast section, dark one. The red color, because everywhere in Prague it's forbidden to go with the dogs anywhere close to the children playground, which is understandable. So just watch out and feel free to enjoy the free time. Go! Barty, pojď! Pojď! Anyway, this place can be used also for agility. I'm sure you can find better ones, but this place is both good for playing a fetch, being very much in the shade, which is a good thing, which is not always automated. And also there is a drinking place, a little fountain, both for people and for dogs. It's not in most places that you get drink both for you and for your dog, which he appreciates very much right now. We are in Central Park, one of many actually in Prague, as we found out there is at least 4 or 5 of them. This one is in the south section of Prague, in between of Opatov and Háje, and literally underneath us is the red metro line. And also all of these hills, all the greenery here, which I was gladly educated by Stepan, the cameraman, is a result of the underground metro construction, because all of the dirt was put here to create these artificial hills, so to say. And today it's a place where you can freely walk your dog. We haven't seen yet any of the signs, but we checked online and the city lists this place as a free space for your dog to go without a leash. If you see those buildings back there connected with the bridge, these are allegedly the highest panelaks, the panel buildings in Prague. And up there also, if you want to have the true panel experience, there is a restaurant. So you can go for a date and yeah, take the typical Czech experience. You know, Czech panel buildings are going through the renovations or revitalizations. This, in my opinion, is how it looks like when it's done right. We are at the Opatov metro station, and right there, where is the metro, all this green area and all the way back there is supposed to be built. Now, one of the developers is Finep. The project is called Nový Opatov, and they want to make it something like a new Budějovica, also with office spaces. They also want to bring here trams from Spořilov, if I'm not mistaken. So this place is going to be full of development, which guess what means for the prices all the way up. So another place where you can invest in and your dog will appreciate the nearby walks. Cutting to another day, I had to finish the last video because Barty was too tired to continue into other parks. I wanted to mention also a few more parks which are very suitable with the dogs to go without the leash. Specifically, we're speaking of a Petřín Hill because there are designated spaces there. Letná is great for that reason. Near to Invalidovna, there is also a great big place where you can let your dog go loose. But what I want to touch is the subject of big parks or mainly forests, you know, Divoká Šárka or Krčský les. These are the places where, is it okay to let the dog out loose? You're in the middle of a forest. So I looked up the information. It's confusing. So I called as a proper check. I called to the office. I asked who can help me because it's confusing. The lady, she put me in touch with the head of the forest division, something, and he explained. So if you are in Divoká Šárka, the condition is that the dog must be under supervision and he must be responsive to you. You shouldn't let your dog go loose if you know that your dog doesn't behave. For example, my previous dog, he was super crazy chasing deer or wild animals. So if I were with him in Divoká Šárka, he would see any of the deer, he would be gone for like 10 minutes. This is not okay if your dog is not trained to come back when you call him. Specifically, the guy from the Lesichere, he explained that it's okay to go without the leash, but there is another exception. If you see trees which are marked with 2 or with 1 stripes, I think white or red stripes, that means this is a protected area. So don't go there with your dog without a leash, because this is a specific part of the forest where maybe there are birds or some spatial plants. So watch out for this. In today's video, we covered the places where you can go with your dog for walks without a leash. This is also part of what we do, and we want to bring the living in Prague closer to you, so you can feel here more like at home. What I will also mention in the comments down there is all the links where we got the places, and double check always that there is this sign or that you're fairly certain that you can go here without the leash. Make sure your dog behaves, pick up the poops, and see you in the next videos.